Folks, welcome back to AONUltimate. We're starting to get into the upper crust of things, and we're going to lead off with the Yoshi Ditto.
Period.
Jazzy, strap in. We're going to be here for a bit. So, this is far from the first time that Raptor and Suarez have put up the dukes against each other in bracket. In fact, did they not have right controls? No. What happened here?
I don't want to see
God
the
damn it.
Yoshi's. Okay, no, here. Okay. Before we get into this, I have a very serious question.
Yeah, what's up?
Only because I was in Suarez's stream earlier, and I was seeing that he be playing Birdo, which it's Birdo. Like Birdo, we love Birdo in this household, but like, there's Yoshi like right there. I don't get it. You're not allowed to play Birdo, but like then also main Yoshi.
To be fair, there's not a lot of games you can play Birdo in.
Mario Strikers.
And like, that's almost it. She's like in Mario Tennis, and I think maybe one or two of the golf games? Like, she's almost never in Mario Party as it is. Let the man rock. Let Suarez plays Birdo if he wants to. Oh, no, Birdo's on the screen right now. We got Yoshi's. The only eggs coming out are from, like, the magic egg hole that they throw eggs from.
Wait, that's very... You know what? I don't even want to
Don't worry about that. Honestly, I didn't think about that until that sentence left my mouth.
But
Never really thought too hard about where Yoshi eggs come from, because I know the answer is, like, a block. They, like, hit a block for eggs.
then where... You know what? I'm sorry.
The Yoshi games are kind of weird, but these Yoshi games, far from weird. Very standard affair between these two. It will take a bit. Historically speaking, these sets do run for quite a bit.
I thought you said it's ticking quite a bit. I don't know. I only see nothing but fighting. Actually, wait. They're still on their first stock.
They are indeed on their first stocks. A minute burnt off the time. And they're very aware of how well they could live out of confirms. It's like, this is a very interesting Ditto because Yoshi has plenty of opportunity to break the other Yoshi's jump armor. But if you catch when the jump has already expired its armor, or if you catch them after a jump completely, the juggle potential from Yoshi to Yoshi is fantastic.
Nothing better like juggling your own character.
It's a very... most players don't like Dittos. This Ditto has a couple of oddities to it because you have to worry about an egg that as your shield. So shield poking is just not a thing from either of these characters. Normally a boon to themselves and a curse for whoever they're fighting. But here's something they're forced to deal with. A fairly difficult to edge guard character by way of a lot of ability to mix up, and you know there's going to be fine control behind both of these characters. Good on Suarez taking the first stock.
Period.
How long can he hold that lead? I don't know. But that's another thing, is that you have a character who should be able to hold stocks for quite some time. Also a character that has plenty of kill power. So you could either see stocks trade back and forth at a very slow pace, or one rapidly take a lead.
I really never noticed how good Yoshi's like initial dash can be. Like,
oh, it's good.
It's looking really good. Like, he also ducks his head too. So I definitely like can see why, like, that's just, I don't know. It looked like it definitely helped in a lot of situations just because, you know, you have situations where you would want to avoid things, especially egg. You know, being the Ditto, you'd want to avoid egg as best as possible, but for sure. I guess also another fact to add to just this matchup in general is more the usage of wave bounce egg lay, because we have been seeing you know, Suarez use a lot of those a lot more recently, just to kind of mix up with a lot of, you know, just movement options.
Yeah, that's usually been like a mainstay thing for Suarez, but of course, these two are homies. They play fairly often, not just in bracket, but they play friendlies as well. They learn from each other, so you're going to see a decent amount of crossover between how they approach the character's tools. But one of the strengths of Raptor has always been more of his patience. One of the strengths of Suarez has always been his combo game. It's also worth noting that both of them do play the Yoshi Ditto fairly often.
Imagine playing the Yoshi, though, almost every day.
Suarez is practically the global home of the Yoshi Ditto. If you had to go to one notable Yoshi to talk to about it. Like, I'm sure he's put in more hours than almost anyone, but if there's anyone to contest that title, it's certainly Raptor, who's currently down to stock.
Absolutely. I'm definitely very curious to see how Suarez, you know, Raptor is going to go about taking this stock because, you know, Suarez has definitely been, you know, taking control of this whole entire game.
That all being said, there's absolutely a possibility of Raptor tying up the stock count and then potentially winning. Like, it could just sort of happen. Raptor trying to make it happen right here and now with his edge guard. Good patience with the nairs and trying to find either a shield break or a wayward kill with the down B. Suarez got to be very careful.
Absolutely, and I didn't even think that was like, okay, so in a lot of situations, even with PC Ninja, we've seen a lot of down B, and people actually spot dodging the down B, which is like, that. I've never even thought that was a thing, because it's just like, there's also the little stars that actually have a hitbox too. But I definitely really love the way that you're also using it, because not only that, like, they don't really have that much knockback, so it also,
That was a fantastic catch, and all of a sudden, Suarez takes the game 1.
Period. The Tims. I always love talking about Yoshi Tims because, like, imagine being like that drippy, like with Tims, multicolored Tims.
It's good. Like the red Yoshi got the blue ones.
Mm-hmm.
I would get dark blue Tims.
Hello, like that's what I'm saying. There's even pink Tims. Like, I wouldn't personally get it. I don't like pink.
I'm just saying, out of characters that got the shoe drip, Yoshi unexpectedly does, take a heavy lead across the cast.
For sure, but we already got to get into the second game here. And Suarez is only a little bit, 44%, already to 60. That's like half a stock already, I guess. But for sure, doing a lot of damage so far and just trying to run away with this lead, we feel like.
Raptor just going to wait for his opportunity to strike. Really good timing on that down B. Like, you were talking about the spot dodges earlier, and, like, Suarez has not been caught out by them in any regard.
Absolutely. I just imagine, like, what you could actually get from that. That looks like a spot dodge up smash type moment. You know what I mean?
It's kind of hard to tell because Yoshi has deceptively low recovery on the down B, which is why Raptor's able to put it out the way that he does. It's either he resets into neutral or he gets the hit. And the hit either resulting in potentially a kill or a shield break. Like, it's not that bad of a situation for him, but look at how Suarez is able to find this reversal. Plenty of damage really quickly. And a minute in, not a stock taken, but it's still big damage.
Absolutely, and that was very nice, DI on that down air, like, from Raptor. And I always think about, Zayn and their just massive DI. When I think the first time I seen them play Suarez, they actually made it out of Yoshi down air.
Yeah, DIing out of Yoshi down air, or SDIing rather, is a bit of a tall order, but it's something I feel like a lot of Yoshis just sort of get used to, at least playing the Ditto, because you do have that luxury of the jump. Also, that was a really weird restand with the drag down back air. Crawling around. The patience on both players.
Let me tell you, if there was a crawl that I could use, namely Rosa, I love Rosa's crawl.
Rosa's cute because she just scoots around. This game has some weird crawls, but I feel like Yoshi's is actually one of the most effective because of how low he sits and how well he's able to anti-air, presuming someone jumps in a less than favorable fashion, which is actually how almost both of these Yoshis died. Suarez lost his first stock, but he's on the hunt to even up the stock count right away, and he will find it with the up air responding to the dropped shield.
Absolutely, that was very nice timing right there, taking off that first stock, and now we don't really have a lead from Raptor anymore. This is quite literally dead even.
Yeah, no, these sets do find themselves to be an even. Talking about at least a little bit of the statistics, like I mentioned to you, Jazzy, this is far from the first time these two have played. In fact, the set count currently sitting is about 20-7 in favor of Suarez.
Oh.
That's a hell of a big number, but that's still 27 sets played between them, at the very least recorded through Smash GG.
Oh, wow. I don't know. It's looking like this is just be another game to the board right here if, Suarez just keeps on putting on the pressure.
It's also worth noting that the game count favor is 66.6 repeating in Suarez's favor. So it is about as even as that lopsided of a set count could be. That also implies a lot of these sets end up going to game 3. Which I guess that bodes well for Raptor, given how effectively he's been playing in game 2.
Absolutely.
Will he follow along with the script? Honestly, I think he's going to follow along with the script. We got 3.5 minutes left on the clock. We are at practically even percentages and tied stocks.
I mean, I don't even remember the last time I saw a timeout. Surprisingly, haven't seen that enough at Xeno.
As patient as a lot of the City players are, they're not as willing to time out, barring like a couple of them. Here, though, even though neither of these players are especially trying to time someone out, more often than not, their stream sets do have at least one game go to time.
Listen,
we've seen it multiple times. I wouldn't count them out from drawing it down to like the last minute, potentially.
Can we have that? Because I'm gonna be honest, I love timeouts.
Well, you got a little bit less time on the clock now, and you've got tied fresh stocks. Only 15 on Raptor. That gets met in like one move. like down air does like a raw like 26, 30%, something like that. Like, look what one combo is doing to Raptor.
That's crazy.
That's big damage. If Suarez plays his card right, that's a stock.
Absolutely, and something I actually kind of like noticed a little bit about, the way that Yoshi's double jump works is that a lot of the times we've seen Yoshi's double jump immediately getting taken as soon as like Suarez goes for like, another up air combo. Or up to up air, if I remember.
Up tilt up air is the typical confirm, although it does a decent amount of damage and knockback. That's one thing that I wanted to highlight earlier is the fact that just as useful as Yoshi armor is nearly infamously in a lot of matchups, this is a matchup where you have a character that has a lot of decent knockback behind his moves, a lot of damage behind them, a lot of opportunity to break that armor and not make the air as safe to navigate.
Ooh, is that not going to be just it?
Talk about that armor!
Definitely come in and clutch right there. Have to be very careful because one Tim to the face can really spell death for either of these players.
Let's trying to find forward airs and up airs and neutral airs alike. A whole lot of moves getting thrown out, but back air from Suarez nearly taking it. Good DI from Raptor, going to be keeping him alive. Well, there was a lot of pressure close to the ledge, almost spooking Raptor away to his doom.
I love Yoshi. He sounds so cute. Is that gonna... Ooh, this is getting very scary. That could have been so bad for Suarez right there.
Oh, that's a confirm that Raptor needs. And with only a minute left on the clock, we're going to that game 3.
Period.
So far, this set has just been following statistic by statistic.
Okay.
What I also love is how Yoshi sets always attract other Yoshis. I know out of the corner you can see Gomer. She's another local Yoshi.
Period.
He, of course, hovering over his homies.
Is this Yoshi Land? The land of
Yoshi's Island. That's what they've been calling Long Island for the longest time.
Period.
We've had a long history of other characters like occupying the island to larger degrees. Like we used to have a lot of Donkey Kongs. We used to have a lot of Bayonettas. We used to have a lot of Ikes. But one thing
this has to be Smash 4. Am I missing something?
No, that's just how we are. There was one time when we had like 5 or 6 Bayo mains in the building post-pandemic.
Post-pandemic? Well, other than me?
Yeah. Long Island has a decent amount of Bayos.
Actually, wait, I forgot. Like, I gotta remember everybody.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of it. You're not a gimmick. You're not special here. We got plenty of your wacky-ass character. But if there's one who is paramount to all other wacky-ass characters, it's these two on the screen.
Period.
And we are, of course, going right on back to Stadium for this Game 3 because, honestly, I don't see any reason for us not to. As far as like wanting to keep the status quo as effective as they can. They don't want to try to rock the boat by going to Battlefield where they know that stocks can sort of fly, and it does lean a bit more to favor of Suarez. Trying to keep things so like Smashville can get very bombastic, but at the same time, because it's such a small stage, it's going to give a bit less incentive for either of them to approach, which statistically would give us even more of that opportunity to go to time. So having a bit of space, platforms to mix things up, a lot of opportunity to catch landings, and of course, we've seen already effective from both players that ledge to offstage play. Stadium just seems like a very natural pick in the Yoshi Ditto, if there had one to be. And contractual obligation to say that side B is unpunishable from Yoshi. I've never seen it happen. It can't be done.
I mean, why would you want it to be done?
It's impossible. Egg roll is just unpunishable. I really liked that egg from Raptor. I know it almost seems obtuse to pick one egg out of the many that you see in this Ditto, but the fact that that was such a close lob to the platform forced Suarez into a situation where he could not get back on base platform safely. And because of that, Raptor finds a lead, but it's a lead he only holds for mere seconds as we go into the 2-2 stock count.
as you said, these stocks are flying, and they're trying to continue to fly with the way they're literally, okay, it's 3.7. Okay, not no more, but like 3.7, like equally? Excuse me? What's going on here?
They're good Yoshis, Jazzy. There's some good Yoshis. Some good boys on the screen right here.
I will hope so. You must be that specific to have both 3.7 damage and not be like on some other level. I'm gonna be completely honest. And even then at that too, like another case we've seen, Raptor really make a lot of these comebacks too. At that, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like that first stock, Raptor was in such a very like big deficit, only to close it up and take that first stock, and that definitely could be a repeat of what we have right now. Only at 81%, and they're definitely taking their very sweet time. But Suarez is definitely ready to swing at any moment.
He's going to take his time finding that opportunity to swing, but he's definitely going to be swinging once the opportunity arises, and he gets the egg snipe. He's been going for those a lot more often as of late, and he manages to get one on one of the harder characters to snipe with eggs, of course, in the Ditto. But this is the first time we're seeing this opportunity where it is a clean stock lead for Suarez. We'll see how Raptor can respond, or if Suarez is just going to hold the gas forward and get his set.
Absolutely, and this is already looking like it's trying to be in Suarez's favor. You have to be really careful, especially with getting off of this ledge right here, because that can be very bad, especially with that Yoshi fair that we have that will spike you at any moment. And not only that, you also have to worry about containing stage control, because you don't want to lose this lead. We don't want to see another comeback that we saw that second game.
Yeah, Suarez knows the danger of giving too much space to Raptor. Like, he has to have some sort of stage presence, but he also has to be mindful about overextending, because that's how he's been eating a lot of damage here.
Ooh, very nice retreating to ledge right there. And, oh, you saw that?
Yeah, that was just the patience with a little bit of walking by. But Nair's going to throw Raptor out the back end.
And speaking of back ends, that tail is going to take it, and we have Suarez, the victor.
There you go. That is, as the set count would allude to happening, we see the now 21-7 between Long Island's finest.